Fire! 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 3, 2, 1! I'm so scared. I'm afraid. Good morning, friends of YouTube. Today we're back to work on the 07K 5-cylinder swap, the BMW E30. And we got a lot to do to this video. I don't know how much I'm gonna get done, but we're gonna find out. So in the last video, we got the 07K, made it up to the ZF transmission with all the clutch stuff, and we got everything back into the car. And we also found out that it does in fact run. And I also need to block off this oil port right here. Apparently that is for a turbo feed line, and I did not block it off. So there's oil all over the floor. But the Lion does not concern himself with that. What we are concerned about is the fuel system. We need to get the fuel pump working so we can get some fuel in this thing and then, get like everything, working, and then get fuel to the engine so we can find out if this thing will run on its own. Once we get the fuel system figured out, we're also gonna start working on making a power steering line situation. We're gonna have to make some custom AN lines and then get it to the Mark IV power steering pump to go to the E36 rack. And we'll have to get like a reservoir. We also need to figure out brake lines, clutch lines, cooling system, a whole bunch of stuff. We also got this fancy freaking Chase Base handbrake from ECS Tuning. Thanks, ECS Tuning. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll run lines for that and clean up the interior. It's kind of gross in here. So a lot to do this video. Let's get to it. We'll start with the fuel system. Cool. Now with the fuel system, I did get some stuff figured out. So this is a Mark V, Mark VI inline fuel pressure regulator / fuel filter. So we have the feed line going to the fuel pump. Now we need to make a return line to go to the return on the fuel pump because the 07K uses a returnless system. So there's no like fuel return up on the engine. It's all determined by this little guy right here. So we need a fuel line to go from this barb up into the return on the pump, which should be easy peasy. I think it's just like a -6 AN line or some millimeter line. I don't know. Previously, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I decided that I'm going to do it really quick while the car still does not run. This is a brand new fuel pump assembly, fuel pump hanger, whatever you want to call it, for the E30. Then I have this old Dishworks 300 from my black E30 that I'm going to throw onto this pump assembly and put it in the car just so we don't have to ever worry about fueling issues. This DW300 should be plenty of fuel for what we need. So we're just going to wire it together, splice it in, throw it in the car, and see if we have fuel pump, and then we'll run to the gas station, get fuel if we do have fuel pump, and we'll try to fire this bad girl up. Dishworks fuel pump on an E30 hanger. Now it's time to put it into the car. It's never fun because this is not the intended stock fuel pump and it never goes in perfect. So let's do some fun stuff. Now you guys are lucky because you get to watch after the fact, but I'm gonna sit here and struggle for about 20 to 30 minutes and say a lot of cuss words. So enjoy my suffering. All right, well, we did some MacGyvering to the fuel pump. The ground that I was trying to use wasn't working, so I just ran a wire all the way back to the battery. Then we have a power coming off of the ECU. So when I flip this switch and then I flip this switch, we should get some fuel pump noise. Oh, wrong switch. This switch. There you go. And as Derek Vice Grip Garage would say, we got a fuel make it happener. So now we need to put fuel in the car, then try to make it happen, I guess. Getting it to start and run off of starting fluid is one thing, but it would be nice to know that this thing will run on its own. It doesn't need any freaking go-go juice, some boost to run. Once I know it runs, cool, great, amazing. Then we can start working on the power steering system, the cooling system, and everything else. All right, I don't know where I last left off with this, but I'm done playing games. We've gotten this 5-cylinder beast running off of starting fluid, but I'm sick of that. I want it to run on its own. It's time. Let's make it happen. All right, let's do it. Okay, screaming aside, we do have this thing all set up and ready to hopefully idle on its own. There's gas in the tank and there's a DW300 in there. Everything works. We did check to see when we turn the key on signal on, the fuel pump does prime. Underneath here, we do have fuel lines ran. Hopefully they are going in the right direction. And then we have a fuel line going from this running across the floorboard up to the engine. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into the car and we're gonna crank the engine. Now, what should happen while we crank the engine is there should be fuel getting to the fuel line, and I have it set up to just go into a water bottle, just so the engine doesn't fire off. I wanna make sure that we are actually getting fuel pressure to the injector rail. So hopefully this should just fill up with a little bit of fuel, and that'll tell us, okay, cool, we're getting fuel to the injector rail. All right, guys, following along? Does that make sense? Okay, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens. When we turn the key on, we want to see fuel go into this bottle. So let's try it. Here goes nothing. So obviously that's not working. We need to flip-flop the two lines that go to the fuel pressure regulator thingy. I didn't know which ones were inlet and which ones were outlet. All right, I swapped those lines around. Now let's see if we get fuel to the friggin' water bottle. Well, we got fuel up to the engine bay. I just put the, yeah, okay. Apparently it's the other one. All right, take 3. Try that one more time. Beautiful, okay. We got it figured out. Hell yeah. So now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the friggin' fuel line on the injector rail, and then we're just gonna start cranking our hog. Just gonna tighten down this hose clamp so we don't get fuel stuff all over the place, huh? And we're also gonna check the oil, because if you remember last time I tried to do this, I spilled oil all over the place. So do I have any left? Probably not. It's got oil, but I'm gonna give it some because it's right in between the minimum line and the full line, so she's not completely full, but she's not completely empty. That should probably do her pretty good, huh? Oil, check. Fuel, check. Hopes and dreams? Ooh, I don't know. Let's find out. We got the jump pack on the battery. We got everything. I don't know. Maybe I should put the cap back on the oil fill. All right, let's see what happens. I'm scared, dude. Frick. Let's do it. Come on. We got a fuel burst. How about now? Okay, how about now? We popped the fuel line. It's too much pressure. All right, well, even with that going on, we still should be able to get this thing to run while tomorrow go get a new fuel line, but I want this thing to run tonight. Let's give it a little bit of help with some starting fluid, huh? Come on, drink up. Drink up. Yeah, here we go. Turn on the jump pack. All right. Ah, man, I'm so freaking nervous. 3, 2, 1. What's the worst that could happen? Come on. You want to. Come on. You know you wanna. Am I leaking oil? Don't see. It's stinky over here, though. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, let's give her some more. She wants it. She wants it. Oh yeah, you're gonna like that. Drink up. Let's go, come on, let's go. Here we go. Oh, fire, fire, fire. Fire, I'm on fire. Oh my God, help me, I don't wanna die.
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby.
I'm on fire. Okay, well, what was that about? That was a first. Never had that happen to me before. Something caught on fire. Where did that even come from? This car is cursed, dude. What? I'm gonna have to watch back the replay footage, but something tells me that the throttle body caught on fire. This is all charred. I don't know. Let me go watch back the footage. I think we're gonna stop there for tonight. I think that's enough of that. All right, we're here for attempt number 2 of trying to get the 07K running. It was really funny. Last night, I was watching back when I caught on fire. I ran past the 2 freaking fire extinguishers sitting right there to go get a freaking dog bowl full of water to put out the fire. I mean, it's funny now looking back at it because we got the fire out, no biggie. It's just really funny what your brain thinks when you're kind of like in a panic mode, kind of like fight or flight type, not fight or flight, like it wasn't that serious, but it was a little sketch because the shop did kind of smell like fuel fumes and stuff. So anyway, let's try not to do that again today. And let's just get this thing running. Let's just do that. I still don't know what caused it, honestly. My main thinking is a spark from here kind of came and traveled over and then just caught some fumes on fire over there and just kind of puffed up. That's my thinking, but there's nothing on the freaking cold side of the engine, like not the cold side of the engine, but like the intake side of the engine that would cause any combustion, like fire. All right, let's try not to do that again, but let's get this thing freaking running, okay? I don't think I really need to do anything else to get this thing running, so I'm just gonna keep trying to crank it over and see if we can eventually get this thing to pop off. I'm not gonna use any more starting fluid. Lesson learned. All right, here goes nothing. Let's now catch on fire again. It wants it bad. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on, you can do it. I think we just need to keep going. It's gonna fire off eventually. What more can I do? Let's just keep cranking her, I guess. She's gonna fire. Oh, come on. Ah, we're out of juice. Darn it. Come alive, live. It could probably use new spark plugs, but all right, I'm gonna do this. This is probably dumb, but we're gonna get it all inside this time. That was running. I mean, maybe on like 3 cylinders. She wants it. She wants to run. But I think I'm gonna change out freaking spark plugs because it was running on like 3 cylinders. And this injector rail could be bad. Not really sure. So maybe I'll steal the one off of the Mark II just so I know I have a known good one. Oh, we got a little bit more work to do, but this thing's gonna run. It's gonna run. It's really cold, but I'm gonna swap out spark plugs really quick. Not that these ones are known bad, but it's good practice to switch them out just so we know that we have nice new ones. Apparently they're in there pretty good. Try not to punch anything. That's the worst, especially when your hands are cold and then you punch something. Just ruins your day. I also took the integrated engineering billet valve cover off of the Mark II just for this because the other valve cover doesn't use a stock like OEM valve cover gasket. So you have to like make a freaking gasket with some gasket maker, and I wasn't about to do that. So we just swapped out to this really quick and then put the other one on the Mark II. If you're wondering why I have a screwdriver to take out spark plugs, it's because I don't have a spark plug socket. So this is just like one of those magnetic bit holder screwdrivers. Does the trick. So if you have one of these and you don't have a spark plug socket, bada bing, bada boom. Ooh, that one's crusty. So these are just some NGK freaking spark plugs for the 07K. These came from ECS Tuning, so they decided to sponsor the build. Hell yeah, I told you that in the last 07K video. So if you want to help a brother out, go support ECS Tuning because they're supporting your boy. I couldn't be more grateful. I love ECS Tuning, they're local. I've never had any issues. I've always loved them, so please go support them. You might actually not know this, but you do need to torque your spark plugs. This is set to 16 foot-pounds. So yeah, it is actually important to freaking torque your spark plugs. I never knew that until I started really getting into working on cars. So there's certain things that I will follow torque specs for, certain things I won't. Spark plugs is one of them. Sometimes the torque spec Guten tight is good enough. And sometimes I do actually follow the recommended. Okay, different valve cover. It's got a valve cover gasket now. Different injector rail from the Mark II. New crank position sensor, and we have a map sensor just kind of like dangling inside the intake manifold. So we're gonna try to rip it. Hopefully, oh, and new spark plugs. Hopefully it runs on more than 2 cylinders. It's probably got some vacuum leaks too, but we'll figure that out when we get down that road. Okay. Let's see what happens. I got some water just in case we have any fire issues again. Man, I hate doing these first startups. I hated doing it in the Mark II. I hated doing it with the M50 E30. It's like the most nerve-wracking thing ever. Because you think you have everything checked over, you double check, triple check, and something still will pop up. So let's just hope and pray that nothing is going to go awry. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. What? Okay, well, it's definitely running on all cylinders because these are all warm. But dude, what is up with that idle? These things don't have an idle control valve, so that was gnarly. I don't even think I want to start it again, but it runs! Just so bizarre why it's idling up like that. It idled up to like 3 grand. I let it just try to figure itself out. I mean, there could be a crap ton of vacuum leaks. That's really weird, dude. What the hell? All right, well, I was really hoping for like some freaking excited hell yeah, but now I'm just more like, I'm just confused. on why it does that. Something doesn't seem right. It's spitting flames out of the freaking exhaust. Like, I feel like it shouldn't be doing that. I really don't know. I'm gonna have to send a clip around to some people and try to figure out why it does that. All right. So I sent that clip over to Jason at Redman Performance. He's the guy, he's like the 07K wizard. And I was like, hey dude, what the hell? I failed to realize that the underside of this intake manifold has a bunch of open ports. So there's like a bunch of open ports underneath here. So I went, got plugs, I plugged them all up. And then also it doesn't have like a provision for the OEM map sensor. So we just have a plug down there, just like a nipple plug type thing, haha, very funny. And then I just connected it to my map sensor. This is temporarily permanent, maybe temporary, I don't know. So hopefully this does the trick and fixes the crazy issue, because the way that Jason explained it is the ECU is trying to figure out why the heck we have this extra air, and then it messes with timing and it does a whole bunch of weird stuff and it causes that weird idle surge. So hopefully this does the trick. I'm scared. I'm still really nervous. Oh, and all the flames shooting out the exhaust. There goes my good paint job. Darn it. I can fix that though, no biggie. All right, let's see if that fixes the issue and go from there. I really hope it does, because I'm really excited just to hear a nice, steady idle. All right, let's make it happen. I'm so scared. I'm afraid. I should be excited. All right, whatever. So let's do it. Drum roll, please. God, I'm so scared. Okay, better. Less of a vacuum leak. Oh, that could be something. Oh, yeah, I should probably block that off. I didn't even realize this engine had that. The secondary air injection pump. I deleted it. Well, halfway, I took it off. I'm supposed to buy a plug and plug that up. I completely forgot about that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Idiot. All right, I just stole the one off of the 07K Swap Mark II. Sorry, Mark II, your time will come next year. Right now, I'm focused on this piece of junk. So I put the block off plate back on this engine right there, as you can see. So let's see if that did the trick, if that does the fix. That's a pretty big vacuum leak too. Also, we can't run it for so long because I don't have an alternator hooked up. I don't have the water pump hooked up. I don't have anything. So we can't let it get, too hot, I don't know. See what happens. Well, that didn't really solve the issue, but we'll figure it out. Oh, dude, sick. That thing's loud. All right, well, cool. Hell yeah. It's very apparent that we have so much more work to do, but that is a freaking major W, dude. What? Hell yeah, man. We got vacuum leaks out of the wazoo. Not really sure. This is just a breather, so I don't think that's causing a vacuum leak. And I just spilled water all over my foot. Awesome. We need to start getting the cooling system all fitted up and ready to go. We also need to get tabs welded onto this core support so I can get it back onto the car and then make like a custom setup. And then we have a Mishimoto radiator somewhere for the E30. Not really sure where it went. Here it is. Yeah, we got a Mishimoto rad ECS tuning. Send it over. Shout out ECS tuning. Love you. So we're gonna have to start working on that. I gotta order a bunch of parts, and I ordered a bunch of parts for the power steering system, and they were all wrong. So I got to return those and wait. I was trying to do like an AN line setup, and apparently I thought you could use an 8 AN and a 6 AN for the feed and return on the power steering. No, you cannot. So I'm just gonna get some banjo bolts, 8 AN and 10 AN banjo bolts, type like adapters, and then put the stock E36 banjo bolts onto those adapter thingies. So that'll be the plan, and then we'll just run AN lines for the power steering system. So like, get the picture here, we'll go AN line from here to there, and then there to like a reservoir type deal somewhere on the firewall, and then hopefully that works. But this is a major freaking W, dude. W's all around. I'm so pumped. It's been over a year, and we finally have the first startup, dude. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm not amped enough because I was so nervous. I feel like we should be more excited, right? But I'm gonna end that video here. Actually, really quick. Gotta start working on the cooling system, power steering system, and I'm also gonna start doing some interior stuff and cleaning everything up. But if you're stoked on the 07K Swap D30 running, like the video, subscribe, do the stuff, and that'll help me do more stuff. Okay, cool? Yeah? Awesome. Like the video, 1,000 likes and I'll leak my feet pics. All right, everybody have a great day. I love you. Goodbye.